All right, guys. So we're sort of kind of coming near the end of our multiplication unit. As far as learning more about multiplication, we've pretty much learned everything there is. Now it's just refining those skills and using those skills in word problems and so on. The one last thing I do need to touch on, though, is that we can multiply um, more than two factors. Multiplication is very similar to addition, where I could have 3, 4, 5 factors. I could be multiplying by all different types of factors. Remember, factors are the numbers that we are multiplying. Like in 5 times 5, 5 and 5 would be the factors, and then the answer is the product. So let's take a look at this this word problem, and we'll dissect this and look at this using word problems so we can get a better understanding of where those multiple step multiplication sentences will come from. So here we have Mr. G had 2 packages delivered to his house. In each package there were 3 boxes of arrows. In each box there were 6 arrows. How many arrows did Mr. G receive? Well, this may seem kind of confusing at first, but when you look at it, it's not too difficult. And let me draw a picture to show you what I mean. And I got to change from purple because obviously purple is not going to show up too well. Let's just use black. All right, so this word problem is saying that Mr. G receives 2 packages. So I'm going to draw those 2 packages. Here's one. So it's like UPS came to my house and delivered these 2 big packages. Okay? There they are. There's one, and there's the second one. Let's change up the color here a little bit, and it's going to show up. So let's go ahead and use blue. Now the next thing, it says that in each package, so in each single package I got, there are 3 boxes. So here's 1, 2, finally the third box. So there's 3 boxes inside package 1, and there's also 3 boxes inside package number 2. 1, 2, and finally 3. Okay, that's what the word problem is telling us. And then the final detail of this is that there are 6 arrows in each box, right? So there's 6 arrows here, 6, 6, 6 arrows here, 6 arrows here, 6 arrows here, and you can see how that looks, okay? Well, now, when I look at it this way, it's not that difficult to solve how many arrows I have. I can simply skip count and say, okay, well, 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. I could do, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 groups of 6, 6 times 6, okay? But let's look at what this problem is showing us and see it as a multiplication sentence, okay? Let's go back to black. It says that there are 2 packages, so there's my 2. In each package, there are 3 boxes. So there's 3 boxes in each package. So that's 2 equal groups of 3, right? 2 times 3. And then it says that in each box, there are 6 arrows. So that's equal groups of 6. So here I have 2 times 3 times 6. And in multiplication, you guys have to remember that you can multiply these any way in any order. It's the associative property of multiplication. It's just like addition. Remember, we could flip-flop and change the order of our add-ins, the numbers we're adding, and we're still going to get the same answer. Well, the same holds true here with multiplication. I can change the order of these and multiply, and it's still going to give me the same answer. Okay, so let's look at this again and see exactly what happened here. Here's my 1, 2 boxes. There's my 2 boxes. I'm multiplying because there's 2 groups of 1, 2, 3 boxes. 3 boxes. And then I'm multiplying by 6 because I have the equal groups of 6. Okay? So 2 times 3. Well, 2 times 3 is 6. I'm good with my 2, so I know that. So 6. That means I have 6 boxes, and you can count them. I have, remember, the blue of the boxes. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes. And so then I'm going to multiply by 6. And 6 times 6 would be 36. So I would have received 36 arrows altogether. And of course, I drew that picture, and when I draw that picture, it's pretty simple to solve it without that. But again, this is also a multi-step multiplication problem here, where I have 2 boxes. There's 3 little boxes inside each box, so 2 times 3 is 6 boxes altogether. And then there's 6 arrows inside those boxes. 6 times 6, 36 arrows altogether. Let's take a look at another problem. Here's another one. It says, Mrs. Young was making muffins for a bake sale on Saturday. Her recipe makes 3 dozen muffins. If she started on Wednesday and made her recipe once a day until Saturday, how many muffins would she have for the bake sale? This is a pretty intense problem, and we have to sort of dissect it a little bit. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to just pause this video. Okay, I'm actually not going to pause it. I'm going to encourage you to pause it. This is part of your guided notes. Go ahead and pause the video. Read through this word problem. See if you can solve it on your own. Then unpause it, and I'll go through it and show you the answer. Go ahead. Alright, well, hopefully you paused it and you try to solve this on your own. Let's see if you figured it out and did exactly what happened here. Okay? Well, it says that her recipe makes 3 dozen. So one recipe makes 3 dozen. Well, the first thing I need to know is, well, what's a dozen? And if you don't know that, 1 dozen is equal to 12 muffins. Think about a carton of eggs. Eggs usually come in a dozen. And so whenever you hear the word dozen, that means there's 12 of them. So in 1 dozen, there are 12. So if her recipe can make 3 dozen, the first thing I need to figure out is how much one recipe makes. So that would be 3 dozen, so it would be 3 times 12. Okay? 3 times 12 is going to give me, let's see, I can do 3 times 10, and I know that's going to be 30. And then 3 times 2 is 6, so that's going to be 36. Okay? So one of her recipes gives me 36 muffins. That's the first step in this problem. The next step is I got to figure out, well, how many muffins she makes. Okay? By the time she gets done on Saturday. And she starts on Wednesday, so now I need to know the days of the week. So I got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and this is where it can get confusing. And let's see, it says, and made her recipe once a day until Saturday. So let's pretend she also made it on Saturday. If you didn't, that's okay. But she did it Wednesday, she did it Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So that's 4 days. So if she makes 36 muffins for 4 days, it would be 4 times 36. And that's going to give me the total amount of muffins that she makes. I'm going to break up 30 to solve this. So far, I know I need to do 34 times 36, but I need some more room here. So I'm going to extend this page a little bit. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to break up 30 into, remember the distributive property, so I can break it up into 30 plus 6, and I can do 30 times 4, and then I can do 6 times 4 to help me out. Well, I know from doing my multiples of 10 that I can simply just do 4 times 3, which is 12, and then put a 0 in the ones place to get my answer, right? So 30 times 4 is 120. Now let's go over here and figure out what 6 times 4 is. Well, 6 times 4, that's 24. I can just add the two numbers together, just like up here, right? Because it's an expanded form. 120 plus 24, that's going to give me 144 muffins. So she is going to make 144 muffins until to have on the bake sale on Saturday. And again, this is a whole lot of work I'm doing down here to get this problem, and I'm dissecting it apart. But here's what it basically looks like when I'm just writing as a multiplication sentence. Okay? She had 3 dozen muffins that she made in 4 days. So she made her one recipe made 3 dozen, so 3 times 12 times 4, and that gave me the 144. And really, I can multiply these in any different way. I can do 3 times 4 first, because that's easy. What's 3 times 4? Well, 3 times 4 is 12. So this can also be 12 times 12. And 12 times 12 is going to give me 144. Okay, hopefully this is how you solved it. And this is, again, just multiplying with more than 2 factors. You're going to see it in word problems. You may just see it written out like this one up here. And you'll just have to know that when you're multiplying, it's just telling you that you still have equal groups. Everything is always in equal groups to find out a total amount at the end. Alright, we'll go over this more in class. Don't forget your guided notes tomorrow. Alright? Have a good night.